1. Haiti, a nation. Overwhelmed by neglect, Port-au-Prince, Haiti's capital, has this raw, untamed beauty but also a tough reality. You can still see the scars from the 2010 earthquake. Buildings are crumbled and the city feels stuck in time. The streets are narrow and unpaved with makeshift homes popping up just to help people survive. It's like the city was never really planned, and that shows. Sanitation is a big problem with trash piling up in the streets, creating not just a messy scene, but a health hazard too. Even basic things like water and power are hit or miss, and people are left to figure it all out themselves. But despite everything, there's something truly inspiring about Haiti's people. They keep creating, singing, dancing, finding beauty in all the chaos. So while it's far from perfect, it's a place full of heart. Haiti's spirit is messy, sure, but there's depth in that struggle, even if it's not pretty by traditional standards. 2. Honduras, urban chaos amidst natural beauty. Honduras is one of those countries that seems to have it all: stunning beaches, ancient ruins, and lush forest. But once you hit the cities, that beauty starts to fade fast. Tegucigalpa, the capital, is a nightmare when it comes to traffic. The streets are chaotic, with buildings thrown up haphazardly, no real planning in sight. It's like the city was built with no thought to how things would function together, creating this disordered vibe. Urban areas are lined with pollution, and public transport is a gamble. Most of the time, it's a bad one. But step outside the city, and Honduras's natural beauty shines again. It's a place that feels like two worlds in one. 3. El Salvador, struggling between progress and environmental concerns. El Salvador may be small, but it's packed with jaw-dropping natural beauty. Surfers flock here for world-class waves, and volcanic landscapes make for a dramatic backdrop. The food is a major draw too. Pupas as anyone. In recent years, San Salvador has seen improvements with cleaner streets and less crime. But urban issues still linger. Power lines dangle everywhere, roads are full of potholes, and waste management is a struggle. Despite new projects like Bitcoin City, deforestation and poorly planned growth continue to threaten the country's natural beauty. So, is El Salvador ugly? Not quite, but it's got some work to do. 4th, Paraguay, infrastructure gaps and historical legacies. Paraguay often flies under the radar, and not always in a good way. It's not as flashy as its neighbors, but there's a certain charm and authenticity about it. Still, there's no ignoring the country's struggles with infrastructure. Whether you're in Asunción or exploring rural areas, poorly maintained roads and chaotic traffic are hard to miss. Public transport is almost non-existent, making getting around frustrating. Paraguay's history, especially after the devastating War of the Triple Alliance, left it with a slow path to modernization. But despite these setbacks, the people, food, and untouched landscapes keep Paraguay full of potential. 5. Nicaragua, natural wonders amidst urban disarray. Nicaragua is one of those places that has some of the most stunning natural wonders. From the Almaty Islands to the Pacific beaches, the country is an adventurer's paradise. But when you step into the cities, the story changes dramatically. Managua, the capital, was rebuilt after a devastating earthquake in 1972, but it feels like it was never fully restored. The streets are winding and confusing, traffic is a mess, and you can't help but feel like the city was never really planned out. Public transportation in Nicaragua is inconsistent at best, and there's often trash strewn about in various corners of the cities. Many buildings are unfinished or in disrepair, creating a feeling of unfinished business. It's a stark contrast to the country's natural beauty, which remains largely untouched. Nicaragua's rugged energy, though, has its charm. There's a certain rawness to the country that can be appealing to those seeking an authentic experience. But if you're after a polished, well-maintained destination, Nicaragua's cities might leave you scratching your head. 6. Bolivia, vibrant culture overshadowed by urban challenges. Bolivia is a country of extremes. From the surreal salt flats of Salar de Uyuni to the vibrant chaos of its cities, there's something striking about Bolivia. The country's cultural richness is undeniable, but the state of its cities, like La Paz and El Alto, tells a different story. Urban planning seems to have been an afterthought, with buildings haphazardly stacked on top of one another and a lack of clear infrastructure. In El Alto, unpaved streets and dust clouds are common sights, making the city feel more like a construction zone than a functioning urban area. The high altitude adds to the challenge, and traffic can be an absolute nightmare. Bolivia's cities often feel like they're in a constant state of flux, with no clear path toward modernization. The beauty of Bolivia's landscapes is overshadowed by the chaos in its urban centers, where poverty and lack of resources are apparent. It's a country that challenges you to look past the mess and see the beauty that lies beneath. 7. Cuba. Fading grandeur and infrastructure. Decay. Cuba is a country that many people romanticize. The vintage cars, the colonial architecture, and the music that fills the streets. It's a destination that captures the imagination. But peel back the curtain and you'll find a nation struggling to maintain its grandeur. Havana, the capital, has some of the most beautiful buildings in the world, but many of them are in serious disrepair. The facades are crumbling and entire neighborhoods feel like they've been forgotten by time. Public infrastructure is also in decline, with roads in desperate need of repair and public services barely functioning. Power outages are common, and sanitation is a major issue. Despite Cuba's rich culture and stunning beauty, its infrastructure problems can't be ignored. The economic strain of recent decades has made it difficult for the country to maintain and improve its essential services. Cuba's faded grandeur is a perfect example of a place where the charm is undeniable, but the cracks in the foundation are becoming impossible to ignore. 8. Guatemala. Natural beauty contrasted by urban neglect. Guatemala is another country that is blessed with some of the most breathtaking landscapes in Latin America. The land of eternal spring lives up to its name with a perfect climate, and the Mayan ruins like Tikal are a testament to the country's rich history. But while Guatemala's natural beauty is undeniable, its cities leave much to be desired. Guatemala City is a sprawling metropolis that feels like it was thrown together without any real thought for urban planning. You'll find neglected streets, unpainted buildings, and a general sense of disorder in many parts of the city. Urban development seems disjointed, and while there are some modern areas, they're often overshadowed by the crumbling infrastructure around them. The city is a far cry from the peaceful, picturesque landscapes that Guatemala is known for, and it can be a jarring contrast to the rural areas that maintain their charm. So, is Guatemala ugly? It's more of a tale of two cities, one where nature thrives and one where urban neglect is becoming increasingly hard to ignore. 9. Venezuela. From prosperity to urban decline. Venezuela's story is one of extremes. Once a prosperous nation with sleek cities and thriving industries, it now grapples with a staggering economic collapse and widespread infrastructure decay. Caracas, once considered a model Latin American city, now stands in sharp contrast to its former self. Buildings are in disrepair, streets are riddled with potholes, and basic services like water and electricity are unreliable. What makes Venezuela's situation so tragic is the stark contrast between the urban decline and the incredible natural beauty that the country still boasts. Angel Falls, the world's tallest waterfall, and Los Roques, with its pristine beaches, remind the world of Venezuela's potential. But the cities, especially Caracas, tell a very different story. It's a country that's struggling to keep its urban areas intact while trying to rebuild from years of mismanagement and political instability. 10. Suriname. Untapped potential amidst urban challenges. Suriname, a small country in northern South America, is another example of a place with so much potential, yet hampered by urban issues. The capital, Paramaribo, is home to some beautiful colonial buildings, but many of them are crumbling and in desperate need of restoration. The streets are poorly maintained, traffic is chaotic, and public transport is almost non-existent. Despite these challenges, Suriname has incredible biodiversity and a diverse cultural mix that makes it a hidden gem for those looking to escape the beaten path. However, the urban areas are struggling to keep up with the demand for services and infrastructure. The cities are in dire need of investment to improve basic services like waste management, clean water, and public transport. Until that happens, Suriname will remain off the radar for those looking for a more polished travel experience. These 10 countries showcase the difficult realities of urbanization in Latin America. While each one has its share of natural beauty, it's clear that the lack of proper planning and infrastructure can often overshadow that beauty. These nations may have potential, but until their cities are reimagined and built with sustainability in mind, they will continue to face urban decay, pollution, and the daily struggles of their citizens. If this exploration into Latin America's urban challenges resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of these countries? Agree or disagree with the list? Let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this, diving into the heart of global issues and places.